term I like to use, barn burner. Some people don't even know what that is these days.
Burning them barns.
That was actually one of my favorite Unreal Tournament maps was called Barn Burner as well. It was just a flag on either end of a big square barn. So it was completely open sightlines, insta-gib, capture the flag.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's pretty straightforward. Yeah, it reminds you like a 2-fort in Team Fortress. It's really simple. You know, you got the basics there. So.
Yeah, and Kings Row El Clasico here for Overwatch. Everyone knows and loves it. Map hasn't changed at all. The strats certainly have over time. Nowadays, you'll see defense posted up like you see here. Reinhardt in the front. Usually Mei is involved. I'm actually still surprised sometimes when I don't see a Mei. People relying on actually killing things is just much harder than putting up an ice wall, right? So we'll see. As the attacking team comes in here, it's going to be Yala on the offense, and they just played this map not long ago, so they should be fresh in their minds of how to tackle this problem. The new team that they're facing here, Venko, could have some different tactics. We'll just have to see how it plays out, but this is very common what you're seeing here. They'll back toward this arch during the poke fight without a Mei. If there is a Mei, they usually fight at that front wall, but yeah, basically just relying on McCree and Soldier's range to get a kill before the enemies do.
Yeah, triples tank strat is once again the Roadhog, the Zarya, as well as the Reinhardt, so Yala kind of sticking to their guns there as far as the strategy this time around. On the other side, they are running with the McCree. There's a charge coming out from the defensive Reinhardt. Just Dism right there. Not going to be enough for the kill initially. Dism gets a kill in the hiker, and they also take out the Reinhardt as well. So this offense they're pushing for. No ultimates necessarily even needed for that. Lucio gets picked up with the laser beam, and they're just going to take control. They just really ran them over. No ultimates used, I believe.
Yeah, and also got a really late kill on Zarya, so she's going to get the split spawn. I'm almost positive. Yeah, Zarya's going to spawn a mile away, so really fortunate for the attacking team. They were able to basically stall her death because she's also really slow. Her little stubby Zarya legs are going to take forever to get to that front line. Of course, the payload does take quite a while to get rolling as well. That is to adjust for the defense, actually, to be able to get back in place a little bit sooner. And they're set up at that first corner again. That you very, very often see, allowing Zarya to get back in time. But what do the ults look like? It's actually the offense going to be able to roll ults. Actually, both sides have the same ults available, so we might see the group hug. That's when the both Zarya ults go off at the same time. But it's actually, yeah, there is a group hug. We got blue and red both happening. Sound barriers on both sides. We got the nano-boosted Reinhardt on the defense versus a nano-boosted Soldier on the offense. Who is going to come out on top? Celestial has been doing a great job, but this time defense hang on just barely. They've got 4 members standing, and it's just those tanks and healers.
Yeah, go figure. All those similar ultimates, if not the exact same, being used, and it ends up being a pretty just overall even exchange right there. However, Dizzy pushing them back. He does have his whole hog good to go as well. Going to miss that hook attempt right there. But finally, the offense continues to keep the payload going in, though. You know, I was just about to say this. I was wondering about the McCree and the Soldier. McCree especially, they do go Reaper. Again, against this triple tank, they eventually switch to it. A little surprised at the Soldier instead of the McCree, but they make it happen. We'll see if that's going to pay off for them. Justice Sim charging way back there, though. The anti-heal's up. He gets the shield out, at least. That'll save for the time being, and finally does get the save onto him. Also helped to pick up a kill on accustomed, actually, the opposing Reinhardt. So it is going to be a little bit of a hold here at the somewhat choke point now in favor of Venko Gaming. Ultimate status, they do have the nano boost, but they lose their Reinhardt meanwhile. Off to the side,
Dizzy.
kind of a skirmish over here.
Yeah, Dizzy popped the whole hog when it was a 1v2 situation, and Dizzy very nearly fell. He actually got hit with the Ana grenade to prevent himself from healing up, but the friendly Zarya Playboy found him just in time during his ultimate to put that Zarya bubble on him and keep him alive long enough to kill those tanks in the corner, and now that is a checkpoint secured. 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Yala is just cruising through the streets phase here, not cutting it close like they were in that previous series, and the defense have been reeling. They did switch that Soldier over to Reaper, like you said, and I gotta say, I agree. Soldier might have been the better one to keep in this situation. Sensi has not been lighting up that kill feed at all, and Soldier's sustained damage can definitely help break those Reinhardt shields quickly. Graviton Surge coming out, Sound Barrier to counter. Offense staying alive here. Nano Boost goes out on Lucio, Boostio, and that is going to be an Earth Shatter actually laying them flat, but with Celestial popping the Tac Visor, that's all they really needed. Even though the Nano hit the wrong target, everything's coming up Yala.
I got to assume that was a mistake, but it's one of those adding insult to injury mistakes. The fact that they still just overwhelmed them and completely destroyed them, and they're keeping this push going with the payload, that's just got to hurt if you're Venko Gaming over here. But it looks like Yala on the way to just absolutely dominating on offense here in this game number 1. There's the break it down with the Sound Barrier, having the charge immediately coming out, trying to cause chaos in the backgrounds by Customed right there. He will end up falling himself. However, does a little bit of damage, but Sensei does pick up a kill on I Playboy as well. Dizzy, though, the hook on a Sensei gets him killed as the fallback is happening now in favor of Yalla Esports.
Yeah, a couple of members falling there, not going to allow the offense to finish the job just yet. They do have 3.5 minutes, essentially need to win one fight and stave off a trickle defense, and they will be successful. But D.Va in play now here for the defense. I do like that switch. She is the stall master here, along with Mei, Tracer, some other characters as well. D.Va jumping straight into that backline, trying to pummel down Lucio as quick as possible. Graviton Surge catches 3. Can they get the follow-up? No Ana grenade into it, but they do get a kill onto Lucio. That's going to stall them a little bit. D.Va loses her suit, so a lot of their stall power has been eliminated here. Reinhardt had the nano boost, but he had to keep the shield up just to stay alive. Genji is going to get deflected away from the car and killed there by Dizzy's ultimate. Celestial with the tac visor, finding those healers, and that is it. The cart going to slide into the point, finishing off Lucio is all they need to do, and 2 minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock is a far cry better than their last best of 3, so Yalla have to be feeling good about that offensive performance.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, that was just an impressive overall round right there, but I want to look at the side of Venko, though, and again, not to take away from Yalla, but it does feel like the makeup right there, going back to the whole later on Reaper and just the pick of McCree. I mean, is McCree usually considered okay in the case of going up against a 3 tank, or was he almost just kind of useless there?
McCree Reaper actually, I would say before this patch, would be the answer, because Flash and Fan, that combination is quite good against tanks. You can also throw Flashbang over Reinhardt's shield to make him drop it temporarily. So I do like the idea there, but just the fact that Soldier is running rampant right now, his damage is just much higher than McCree's, really. If McCree's not hitting headshots consistently, then I think Soldier's still the right move just for the damage output, because you literally can just, as Soldier now, hold down left click and just spray and pray, basically, which you haven't really been able to do in Overwatch before. It just does such sick damage. You get Helix Rocket on cooldown pretty quickly. And yeah, I think McCree, he doesn't really have that ranged offensive beatdown potential with the nano boost either. If you get a nano boost to Deadeye, it makes the skulls appear quicker, but then you're looking for that one burst shot compared to just tons of damage over time. So I'll be a little bit critical there and say maybe Soldier would have helped them out, but this time on the defense, they're not running a Soldier either. They're actually going with that Mei frontline defense with the triple tank again. Mei, their only offensive character at all. Double support, triple tank, and Mei. But they did the job on King's Row last time, so it should be okay here. Last boss, specifically, I remember getting mass blizzards against their previous opponents.
You know, Mei's really interesting because it's, you know, not necessarily considered to be the damage, the DPS, but at the same time, those right clicks, I feel like it could be pretty powerful, especially with those headshots, obviously. So that and the utility she brings, I think overall, again, with the triple tank strategy that they've been working with both in the previous series and so far in this series, could still be more than good to go. Holding out the choke point there, and there's the power of Mei. You see, as soon as they try to maybe go through, all of a sudden just stopped right there by that wall. But they are eventually going to break through, though. Now what kind of play will they make from it? Of course, no ultimate status just yet. Still really early on in the fight. Genji trying to get some pickoffs himself. Another wall coming off. Not the best wall right there. Does block off the supporting cast of Reinhardt a little bit, trying to get some extra damage out onto him. But so far, nobody dying just yet. They're making their way to the point, though. And then it's going to be a charging from Justism right there, but maybe a little bit too deep. He gets taken out. Genji in the backline as well, being played by Hiker. Sensei also going to fall back on that Reaper. And trying to survive sitting on the site for the time being. Does make it a 1-for-1. They're just fighting at the point, though.
Yeah, Genji living with 1 HP for a very long time there finally gets taken out, and that is really all they need to start the dominoes falling. We've got Ana, Reaper, and Genji all dying very quickly in proximity of each other. Lucio going back to fetch the Mei is a great tactic there. Just to be able to get her into the front line a little bit quicker, where she can start putting up those walls again. So the Mei wall is pivotal here. If she can use it to section off any overeager tanks, they can get free kills that way. Blizzard, obviously, very important. She's about halfway up to an ult again right now. Looks like Nano Boost is going to come out onto Reinhardt a bit early, but the Graviton Surge makes more sense now. He can just swing freely in there. The Reinhardt for the attacking team actually gets a pin, though. Good benefit there, so the fight slightly tipping the favor of the offense. Finally, Hiker on the Genji, chasing down that Reinhardt, removes him from the fight, while the rest of the team envelops the healers. High Playboy and Pause go down, and finally they will take that point with about 2 minutes remaining, so definitely not a bad offense. They got a held, I would say full held 1.5 times before really actually countering that Graviton Surge. The pin out of the Graviton Surge ended up changing the course of that fight, so good props there to Gistikim.
Yeah, some of these names, man, hard to pronounce, especially on the fly. But good job, I got to say, by Custom there, by the way. Not only does he survive, they chase him back quite a bit, and he ends up getting a turn kill on a Genji as a result of that. So going to stall things a little bit, most likely, for Venko Gaming right here. Is pushing on the offense, and going to probably wait for him to come back up and join the team. Obviously not the furthest, though, so going to join pretty quickly. We do see the Death Blossom good to go for Sensei here. Haven't seen many of those, if not really only one today from what I remember so far. So potential is there. I mean, they got everything, actually. The only thing they don't have, well, they got the Nano Boost used right there, and here we go. The combination, the Gravitational Surge. The Dragon going to be unleashed in the background as well. Is it going to do the work, though? It gets a 1 kill, as in comes the ice, though, from May. You see the Slammer just swinging around from Justism, but it's not going to be enough. He's frozen in place. In some way, somehow, the defense holds against all of those ultimates.
Dizzy got a few kills there in the mix. A slowed Genji, he was able to just blast down and get the hook kill on Ana there to finish things off. Then Zarya falls, but offense should not really be able to mount an attack during this downtime. I think defense might have a chance to get back. Actually, did Lucio? Oh, no. Actually, offense have a great opportunity here. I thought Lucio had died to provide that speed boost, but he's actually right there on the cart. So that's actually a favor for the offense. Last boss is going to have to do some great stalling with May, and he dies as I say it. So, yeah, offense going to continue rolling here. Reaper is going to be unchecked and get 3 kills very quickly there. Sleep Dart goes out onto Zarya, but I do expect the cart to move basically all the way through the streets. What you'll probably see here is the defense grouping up right here at the checkpoint itself. You can see Roadhog up on the high ground already, lying in wait. They're going to wait for their entire team to get in and contest at the last second, or maybe that last corner if they get back quickly enough. Yeah,
Sensei getting those 3 quick kills, as mentioned, without the use of the ultimate. That's pretty impressive for them, but the push is coming to the next checkpoint, and it looks like, obviously, they are going to try to hold right here the best they can. Nano Boost activate on to Reinhardt once again, but
wow.
Big, it hits a couple in the background. Yeah, 3 in total, and he cleans them up. The Reinhardt with that Nano Boost, unable to do really a whole lot in the end, and Custom is falling back now, but this offensive push, where is this coming from Venko? It's just all of a sudden they turn on a switch, and they are just full throttle now.
I got a great view of that Earth Shatter. What happened, I think, is that Custom had the shield up. He was ready for the Earth Shatter. Everyone was safely behind him. Lucio actually speed boost, ran in, booped him out of the way just in time for the Earth Shatter, and it hit 3 people in the back line. That was great coordination there. I feel really bad for Custom because he was doing the right thing. He had nothing he could really do about it, but that was an easy cleanup there for the offense. And they're actually set to perhaps get a faster time. Even double Graviton Surge is coming out. Dragon Blade could be important here, but Hiker goes down immediately before he can get too many slices off. May is going to be a big stall point here for it. The defense, someone has to touch the cart. What are they doing? Don't run away from it. Anna Nate hits May so she can cryo freeze, but no, she doesn't even have the cooldown available. And wow, offense just made that last point look so easy with a couple of great ults. That's all they needed, and defense kind of fell apart just at the very end. So we have a lot of time remaining actually on both sides here. This is going to make for a very interesting overtime. Point A is going to be very, very valuable here on this next run back.
Is there ever a strategy involved? As you mentioned, we do a lot of time on both sides, so maybe not this time around, but knowing that it's a little bit more limited time going into now this overtime phase or whatever you want to call it. Do you get something like I want to keep bringing up Bastion or like
Bastion? Yeah, I think if there's 1 minute left on one side and the other has like 2.5, you could risk pulling out the Bastion and just try to mow someone down quickly, because losing someone on the initial push when you only have a minute is very, very hard to recover from. You see a lot of weird comps come out actually on offense. You'll see like Genji, Winston, Tracer come out with the 1 minute attacks just to try and dive a healer as quickly as possible, because the thought is if Tracer, Genji, and Winston, if any one of them dies, they're going to be able to get back to the fight very, very quickly. If you hit an Ana or a Mercy, someone who's slow, and remove them from the fight very quickly, it's going to take them forever to get back. So you try and just get that 6v5 advantage with the first push, and then on the second push, you try and take the point. But Bastion has come out a number of times. May is actually more common with those 1 minute scenarios, but it's going to be Yala with less time attacking first. Only about a 15 seconds difference, though, so still should be quite interesting. Animate hit all 6 of those attackers. That was crazy.
Yeah, not going to really be the biggest deal at the end, but that did look pretty, we'll say, for them. But here we go, the push coming out.
Got 30% of his ult already.
Oh, well, that's a good point, actually. I didn't even think about that as far as the ultimate charge. So.
Nano Boost probably going to be rearing its ugly head pretty soon here, but defense in the position you'd expect. They do have the Soldier, same composition that they were running last time, but Yalla just marched right onto the point to fight this, start the fight here.
See somewhat of a pushback right here. McCree, meanwhile, off to the side doing what he can. So we do see that McCree once again being played by Sensei here. Again, didn't necessarily have the greatest first time around. Maybe going to try to recover right here. Instead, no kills just yet, but they are taking the site right now. Again, those ultimates not coming up either. So Nano Boost is going to be used, actually. Speaking of that, get used onto the Reaper. He got one kill out of it. Fire Will in the background with that gravitational surge. Hook in, though, on Azaria. Beautiful counter coming out from Dizzy right there, but he will be cleaned up. Hiker with the Death Blossom comes through.
I was saying wow because Reaper was firing into that Graviton Surge and not getting kills. The health looked okay, but then that Death Blossom hit at the juiciest moment as they were starting to get lower on health. It was just an instant kill all around. And you see Bastion now, Hiker actually swapping off the Reaper onto Bastion to try and finish the job here. 1 minute and 20 seconds left, but the offense is going to press their advantage. Sound Barrier comes out, and High Noon from Sensi looking for some kills, but everyone is already safely around the corner. Speed boost for McCree, try and get him to do some damage with Sound Barrier on the offense now, keeping them in high health. Nano boosted Soldier, does he have the Tac Visor? Yes, Celestial should be mowing them down. I've heard a few ult combination names for this one. I pitched Retirement, but I actually like Lawnmower because Soldier needs those kids to get off his lawn, and that is the way to do it. Nano boosted Tac Visor just, you know, cuts the grass very easily, and they take the point. So now it's all a distance game. They need to go as far as they possibly can in the next 45 seconds. Defense obviously going to have something to say about that, but no ults to try and slow them down with. Hiker actually switching off of Bastion back onto Reaper.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing to know ults. Well, I mean, they do have the Reinhardt, obviously, on the offensive side, but yeah, no ults on the defensive side either. So going to be coming down to those left clicks and whatnot, and just the outskilling just simply with your pure damage and abilities in the aiming. But those ultimate charges, of course, are starting to add up, so still a little bit of time here, 18 seconds and counting. Still could have more and more to come. But Custom, though, is going to get advantage right here of getting Earth Shatter off. He's going to use it right there, gets a couple, it looks like, and they're going to get at least one kill, if not a couple out of it. Yeah, Lucio and Reinhardt go down. They did lose Celestial, though, meanwhile, but still trying to keep it pushing as much as possible, and they're going to keep it going. Can they actually make it to the next checkpoint here? It's going to be close.
The fact that they're falling at one at a time is really bad for the defense. You see Ryan, Lucio, and Reaper all in the background there, the very far spawn, but offense are not losing anyone. They just killed Azaria. They just killed Anna and McCree there. So I think checkpoint B is certainly doable here. 5v basically one at a time coming in. Reinhardt goes down. Next is Lucio. Next is Reaper. They can basically just kill them as they come. Defense need to regroup. Reaper is not going to continue that trend. It feels really bad when a cart moves in overtime as far as it just did. When you're playing comp and this happens, it's like, I just want to leave this game. There's no way we're going to be able to go farther, right? But in matches, you actually have no idea what's going to happen. One pick here or there could totally cause this to happen. It's just a cascade that they triggered to allow them to get this far. If any of them leave the cart, that overtime is going to tick down instantly. So it really is a great opportunity here for Yala just to get as far as they have. Oh,
gravitational surge in the background. We do see, however, Hiker's going to be able to go right through it. Gets kills in the background himself, but Celestial picks off Lucio, and the Nano Boost currently onto Custom there on that Reinhardt, just smacking the hammer around, gets one kill himself onto just as in the opposing Reinhardt. Now has a shield on the payload, and we're still moving, baby. As you see, Anna is trying to make a play herself, but without her teammate, she needs to get back. If she dies right here, that could be big. Nice sleep dart, she will survive. But yeah, this really is something. The fact they're still going. Look at it, 4 players on fire. Are they going to make it all the way? That would be absurd.
Well, the sound barrier's there. He's going to break it down during the Graviton Surge, and it's going to keep them at least alive for the time being. But they have to be on the cart, like I said. If anyone leaves, it just ticks down so fast progressively. As overtime goes on, it will tick down faster. That's kind of a solution that they came up with when overtimes were just like ridiculous, where they never got faster. People could trigger overtime for so long.
I hated that.
Yeah, but now it is much better, but they still got so far. That's actually farther than they got in the entire round in their previous BO3. They got that in like 45 seconds, basically, of being allotted for payload. They got that far.
I feel like that was kind of the classic case, though, of kind of going back to Venko, unfortunately, of really just kind of catching on fire, not catching on fire themselves, but in terms of just kind of panic mode, just going that full-on panic mode. Yeah, the 1x1s as we were talking about. I even saw the combination where Nano Boost was used onto their Their McCree pretty much in the midst of the fight. He tried to Deadeye like right on top of everybody. I mean, it was just so like they were just panicking, using everything they could, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So yeah, they didn't go all the way, but I think Yalla Esports is just satisfied with how far they did indeed get. So gonna set up for a hold. Is that a Hanzo I see on the other side? There's no way they're sticking with that.
Yeah, so Hanzo on top is actually another King's Row classic. You can launch a Sonic Arrow to reveal the defense immediately, and then just drop back and switch to whatever you would. So you can reveal the opponents very quickly, figure out where they're set up, or you can hit a scatter shot and sometimes get kills. That actually happened a lot more in closed beta. Teams have kind of adapted to that in recent times. Back when you could pick 6 Hanzos and all shoot out of the top, you would just have scatter arrows flying and then everyone would swap. Yeah, so that's evolved over time, and you see Hanzo actually not getting anything for his attack. He's actually going to drop down and change already. So yeah, Sonic Arrow just revealing the comp, make sure there's no hidden Bastion, Torb, something like that, and now they're good to go. Hook in, immediately gets the kill on Sensei. Has to feel good for Dizzy, doing a great job on Roadhog all day long. Yeah,
he's been having some big plays. Again, this is the second series cast. Then just isn't way too far. The hook, I mean, that was one of those I'll gladly accept you running into me hooks. I mean, well, not the hardest to hit, but he then misses that one right there. But yeah, beautiful play all around. But more so, again, just isn't maybe want to be a little bit careful next time as far as that chargeability.
Indeed. And Yalla actually tweeted at me. They're at a land facility right now in Dubai, apparently.
Oh, wow.
At least some of the team, and they showed a picture all sitting at their PC stations. It looks pretty cool. So I'm glad that they're able to take it seriously. They really want to be the EU Reddit champions, man. I would too if I was playing.
That's awesome. Just that environment too, just so fun to be in, I'm sure, for them. So.
And attack coming in now. It's going to be a quick pin, but he doesn't actually complete it. He dies before he even reaches the wall. That's going to be rough for the offense. Nano Boost goes out onto Ryan as well. Maybe not even necessary. His last boss gets a kill there. Custom finding the Ana, and that's going to be a wipe again. Might be able to stagger some kills. Lucio is going to get out of there. No, the hook again from Dizzy. Again, getting his own hook highlight reel throughout these games today, doing a wonderful job there.
Yeah, not much else to say about that. I mean, it's clearly Roadhog is one of his go-to, if not his character to play here in Overwatch, and showing us why throughout this game right here. The Reaper charging in, though. We do have a couple of ultimates, including the Unleashing the Dragon with that Nano Boost if they choose to go for it. The Bears a big job with the Shockwave, though. Catches multiple heroes. In comes the charge on top of that with the Gravitational Surge, and they just clean up on a couple. The Blizzard also going to be as they catch Zarya in the background. 4 players are dead. And again, yet another hold by Yala. They're going to hold at this first point at this rate.
Okay, I'll be a bit critical of that one. They didn't need 3 ults. Okay. The Graviton Surge and Earth Shatter combo was definitely enough to kill half the team, and that's as good as killing the whole team in a situation like this. The Blizzard, not necessary, and now they don't have it for this, what could be the last push of the entire game here. So got to be critical of that, but that's okay. They do have a sound barrier. Dizzy's got his whole hog. Dizzy needs to use that. Definitely. He's using it at the front wall right now to try and keep Reaper out of the fight, but the Nano Boosted Reinhardt in the back line, finding iPlayboy on the Ana, and Genji gets the dash kill. He's going to be able to dash through that Graviton Surge to get a ton of damage out as well. So Dizzy a bit misplaced there for the whole hog is going to mean that the defense will finally fall. Last boss staying alive as long as he can with that golden May gun. He finally falls, and A will be taken with merely seconds to spare. So can they push it the entire way in overtime? Literally the entire way? I don't think so. We're going to see how they do here. Defense already set up at the first corner in the streets. They are missing a couple of their members, though. Yeah,
again, we saw them on the other side with Yala pushing a very impressive amount, but this should even be quite a bit more, in fact, if they're able to do it with the OT. But obviously going to give it a shot, sticking on the site. They do still have Sensei with that Death Blossom. They got the sound barrier as well as far as defense goes. There's a charge in. The Death Blossom going to be popped right there. Gets 1 kill on a pause, actually playing to Lucio, but dies shortly after to the May. Gets headshot on him. Makes it a 1-for-1. So not the most favorable exchange. Meanwhile, Reinhardt, a big Earth Shatter in the background to stall them. And there's the Firewall with the Gravitational Surge. That's going to be a cleanup, and that will do it. Yalla takes game number 1 officially.
Excellent game again. Yalla just pushing that cart way further than they had any business being allowed, but easy win there for them in the end. Just that second bout going heavily in their favor. Even with less time available, they were able to just get it so far. Lots of things to call out on that one. I think Custom did a really, really good job on the Reinhardt. That was a game-winning Earth Shatter there at the end. He was nano-boosted, but then got animated. The anti-heal there. I think this is it, actually, yeah. Okay. Yeah, game-winning Earth Shatter there. Definitely, it laid 3 flat, including the healer Lucio there. So unable to speed boost away, anything like that. Kept them in place long enough for the grab and the win. But he was very close to dying and then managed to get that turnaround as well. So props to Custom, props to Dizzy again for the great hooks, even though the whole hog ult could have been done a little bit differently. Last boss with the Blizzard, maybe a little bit of a misstep, but they had that game in hand and just kind of let everything fly. Worked out in the end. Yalla with a 1-0 lead now. We did not catch the map draft ourselves this time, so that'll be a surprise. Looks like Hollywood is going to be the